Have you ever felt like your own mind is just working against you? Like there are way too many thoughts, too many worries, and just too much noise to even think straight. Well, in a really powerful sermon, Bishop Vanessa Byrd gives us a framework to deal with that exact feeling. And she calls it a mind dumping season. Okay, let's dive into this. So, this is really the first question we have to ask ourselves. Is my mind too crowded? The source material describes this as having too much stuff living in our head. It gets so full of negativity, old arguments, worries about the future, that there's just no room left for anything good. Sound familiar? And this is exactly why it matters so much. This quote is pretty much the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. It's such a simple idea, but it's incredibly deep. What happens inside our head, in our thoughts, directly impacts how we walk through the world. Our internal state literally dictates our external life. All right, so first up, let's really unpack the problem itself. What is this mental weight we're all carrying around, and what does it actually feel like? Wow, this metaphor is so powerful, isn't it? The feeling isn't just being stressed out. It's like being a prisoner in your own head. When all those thoughts and worries are left to just run wild, they can trap you. They make you feel like you have absolutely no control and no way out. It's that state of being completely overwhelmed by your own thinking. And the consequences of this are really specific and honestly pretty severe. The sermon points to three major casualties of a crowded mind. First, your peace gets pushed out. There's just no room for it. Then, your focus gets blurry, making it almost impossible to make clear decisions. And finally, even your deepest beliefs, your faith, suddenly has to fight for air amidst all that mental chaos. And here's the thing, this problem, it just keeps building on itself. It's not just about feeling bad on the inside. An unchecked mind starts to actively distort the world around you, and it can seriously damage your relationships. This is such a fascinating breakdown of how our minds can trick us. First, an unchecked mind edits the story, right? It focuses only on what someone else did wrong. Then it takes a simple assumption, like, oh, they didn't say hi to me, and turns it into a hard fact. They must hate me. It makes you suspicious of everyone, starts rewriting their intentions to be negative, and, as the sermon says, it keeps receipts of every single little offense. And the final result of all this? It protects our own ego by making us the perpetual victim and painting everyone else as the villain. And this quote just nails the core issue, doesn't it? If you don't have some kind of standard, in this case, the word, to keep your own thoughts in line, your mind is just going to run wild. It'll be constantly judging, questioning, and finding fault in everyone around you. It turns into an external problem when the real root of it is internal. Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem. Now let's get to the good part, the solution that's proposed in the sermon, declaring your very own mind-dumping season. So what is it exactly? Well, it's not a passive thing. It's an intentional time that you set aside to do three really key things. You release, you refocus, and you renew. The whole point is to clear out all that noise so you can finally hear clearly, whether that's your own intuition or a higher power, and get back the strength you need to move forward. So the whole process kicks off with this one crucial action, release. And this isn't just wishful thinking. It's the conscious, active decision to let go. It means you look at the specific mental weight you've been carrying, those worries, old grudges, the fears, and you make a firm decision to stop holding on to it. But it's not enough to just empty your mind. That creates a vacuum. So the next step is to refocus. You have to intentionally shift your attention away from all the clutter and put it onto something else, a source of truth, of positivity, something that can ground you again. And when you do those first two things, when you release and then you refocus, the natural result is renewal. This is where your mind actually gets refreshed. New, healthier ways of thinking can start to form because, for the first time in a long time, you've actually made space for them. So that's the theory, right? Release, refocus, renew. But how do you actually do it? Well, the sermon gives us a really practical guide for what it calls transferring the weight. Let's get into the how-to. Okay, this is a really crucial point. This is an action, not a feeling. You don't just sit around feeling the heaviness. The process of a real mind dump requires you to actively transfer that weight from yourself to somewhere else. It's a verb. It's something you do. And here are the 4 practical steps. First, name the care. Don't just ignore it. Give that worry a specific name. Second, hand it off instead of rehearsing it.
This means actively giving it away, maybe through prayer or meditation, instead of just playing it over and over again on a loop in your head. Third, trust the timing instead of trying to control everything. You have to let go of that need to force a solution on your timeline. And finally, and I love this one, stop treating your mind like a storage room. Your mind is not a warehouse for old hurts and worries. It's meant for creating, for thinking, for finding peace.
So what's the payoff for all this work? What does life actually look like on the other side of a mind dump? Well, the goal is simple, a clearer mind. This comparison from the sermon is just fantastic. Look at this. On the left, you've got the crowded mind. You can't hear, you can't move, you feel trapped and heavy. But look at the right side. A dumped mind, a clear mind, can finally breathe. It has the space to pray, to actually make plans, and most importantly, to move. It's literally the difference between being stuck and being free. Ultimately, this is the promise. After you go through this whole intentional process, releasing, refocusing, renewing, you don't leave the same way you came in. You leave feeling lighter, thinking so much clearer, and ready to move forward with a brand new strength. And if you take away just one thing, maybe let it be this simple but incredibly powerful piece of advice. Focus your energy on the things that are actually in your control. And for everything else, all the stuff you cannot change or influence, your only job is to release it. So that brings us to the final question, and this one is really for you to think about. After hearing all of this, what is that one care, that one worry, that one piece of mental weight you're carrying around that you could choose to release right now, today?